Hello everyone. I mean, not everyone, no one's quite watching yet, but in the long run, hopefully people will be watching and they'll see this and then I won't feel like as much of a fool. But hello, we're back. It's a nice cloudy Saturday, unfortunately, but what a perfect time to sit inside all day and finish off a model. Sounds good to me. So, starting off over here with just a nice little overlook of everything we've got for Proxy War so far. And yeah, I mean, I kind of said quite a bit about it last time, so I don't think there's really more to say right now, unless someone pops in with a question, then just gonna leave it at that. But just think it's a nice, kind of helps set the tone, get a good view of everything. Need to print off some more of these. Don't have any. Can't paint them if I don't have them. Alright, so now we'll just hop back to the Barracuda, our long range. At this point, it's practically a missile rhino. And this time I actually haven't touched it since the last stream, so we're kind of picking up exactly where I left off. So we need to still finish off the first detail pass on the legs. And I could probably bring these down a bit too, eh? Yep. Anyways, finish off detail pass legs. I was thinking about maybe just shortening the missile pods a little bit. But overall, we're pretty close to our first pass, which is nice. So let's just kind of keep plugging away at it. So how do I want to go about this? Legs. Legs are always tough for me. You're always trying to keep in mind all the rotations you need and all the freedom of movement and feet. Ugh, I don't look forward to trying to figure out feet for these guys. But that is life and this is what I want to do, so this is just something I have to do. So let's first just get rid of this leg. We don't need it. In fact, all this can go. Perfect. So we know we have the joint here. Actually, let's fix this one up a bit first. Hiccups. Alright, so we know our pivot point is right here now, because we set it the same as this one. So we have, actually let's just pull these off to the side. Get a clear look at them. Oh yeah, that's parented, so I can just do this. Okay, yeah, so I do have quite a bit of room here, so let's just, wait, why is there a blue line there? Fix it. Just kind of cut this down a little bit, not too much, because we do still kind of got the pivot that we need to put in there. Okay, and you know what? At this point, there's no real point. Yeah, that's an interesting little problem there. Yeah, there was just no point for that little detail. I'd rather it be more pronounced down here than have a little nothing up here. With that being done, we'll make this a nice even 45, quote on, give or take. We'll bring it down a little bit. And actually, let's bring this one a bit smaller. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. And kind of want to... no. Instead, what we'll do... We're just going to grab this. I like that. No point putting anything on this side because it's just going to be covered up because it's going to be up against the body. That's a lot of lines. This is not enough lines. Generally speaking, in my experience at least, you want to keep quads here. You don't want anything 5 or more sides because then things can get messy. I mean, in theory, if you just got a flat surface, it can kind of get away with it in some cases, but due to the way things triangulate and quadrilate and all that, it's usually better to just go with quads. That kind of like is the minimum for things not breaking terribly anytime you try and do anything with it. Let's get rid of that grid. Okay. So like this, I don't think there's really more I want to do to this yet. What I am going to do though is I actually want to start throwing in a little bit of detail in here instead. Grab here, Kong. It's not going to be anything fancy, it's basically just going to be a square that sticks out. But sometimes you just gotta start with something basic to get something cool. So I'll bring this in, we'll again go for our nice 45. Here it doesn't really matter as much honestly because it's going to be at a weird angle anyways, just due to the way the leg is normally angled in its kind of quote-unquote resting position. But we're going to do it anyways. Because the nice thing about this is that just because I send something off to get printed doesn't mean that has to be how it is forever. I could change the pose, I could change parts of the model. So for now we'll just kind of go with this. Nice little bit of detail. I'm going to do something down here yet. Not sure, I mean, going to do something down there, but I'm not sure yet what. Let's bring this back, let's turn that off. Bring this over here. Yeah, actually, screw it. Let's just go in and bump this back a few millimeters. Oh yeah, I don't think I mentioned that, but on any grid you see here, each square is the equivalent to 1 millimeter. It's just kind of the way I found that works really well for all the shapeways uploading, and I mean, if I want to do it for something else and the scale's not right, I can easily change it then. It works much better to, especially for something I intend to get printed, I'd much rather do it in the millimeters and deal with any oddities after the fact, because going the other way can lead to some interesting issues when it comes ready to actually get them printed out. So we need a cylinder. I want to start working on this joint over here. Let's go 16 sides. Enough so it looks round, but not so many that it's going to be a pain in the ass to work with. I'll match it to, that's not what I wanted. There we go, but it's still off. That's unfortunate. Sorry. I've already been with my quote-unquote interesting work schedule. I've actually already been awake for about 10 hours, so, and I just actually yawned quite a bit. It's kind of weird, but what are you gonna do, right? Want that a bit smaller. We'll make it a bit larger around. That's the start menu, that's not useful. Want those subdivisions, cut this in half for now because I'm lazy and don't want to do less work. Add another one. Give it a nice little bevel. Everyone loves bevels. And bevels are nice. And actually, I'm gonna make this bigger, but I'll make it bigger from that point. It's gonna offset our actual rotation position a little bit. And actually, now I'm looking at it again, I'm not sure I like that. I think I might need to make this section a bit shorter still. Can I do that? Yeah. if we grab, we can bring this in and actually, you know what? Let's just get rid of that. Move that in to be equal to that. Then we merge, get rid of that. Bring this in. Tweak these along. This isn't 45. Fixed. This face is bad now. Yeah, clean that up. So now when we move this back and make it a bit bigger, doesn't look so weird at all. Let's put this back down. I need to see what I'm working with here, so we'll just cut off this top. Won't be needing it. We're gonna end up pretty much using a new block anyways to actually build the leg out. So it's not that important to keep. So I like this, and the way we're gonna work this is actually gonna give it a nice little groove down the middle. That's gonna be where our factual leg actually is kind of connected. And we're gonna we'll stretch this out a bit more actually. One more. Then bring this in a little bit to make it a bit thicker. That should be enough to stand out. And then what we're gonna do, I'm actually starting to think about this now, and maybe it wasn't the greatest idea. Oh wait, no, yeah, that's what I can do. Oh, I'm a genius. So I'll actually bring this out a bit more. Okay, actually, yeah, I like this. This is a cool thing. So we actually need to get rid of this, even though I just put it back in. Bring that down, bring that down. And that is going to extend up, actually. Before I go any farther, let's just put that straight. That'll make it a bit easier to work with. Oh. Well, I'm an idiot. Okay. I messed up on my... Oh, geez, we're already like 20 minutes in. Ah, ugh. Okay, so I basically just messed up on my overlay, so you guys didn't see any of the work I was just doing, and then essentially I was just rambling on. So yeah, I think what we're going to do is we're just going to treat this as the beginning of the stream, and when I edit the clip for YouTube, it's going to be seamless and no one's going to know a thing, but I won't edit this out so everyone's going to know, and it'll be great. And damn. Okay, well, that's unfortunate. So, you didn't miss much. I basically just kind of didn't really talk about anything of significance. I did make the missile pods a bit shorter, and I'm gonna probably be doing more tweaks to them later. For now, we're just focusing on the legs and kind of getting the actual shape in place instead of just these blocks. And I was just working on the back leg here and working on creating the pivot point for the lower leg here. So really, you didn't miss much. Tweaked the design a little bit in here, so not much missed at all. One day I'll get good at this. One day. It'll probably still be a while. Don't hold your breath. I don't want to be responsible for hurting anyone. Not by something silly like that. Can you even actually hold your breath till you actually die, or is it you just pass out and then you lose control anyways, and then you start subconsciously breathing while you're passed out? Yeah, I don't know. Sounds like something I don't really want to know the answer to, you know? It's like, I don't already know it, and it's probably best that I don't, so we'll just kind of leave it at that. Okay. So now let's finally bring this out. Cool. And I want actually a nice little bevel here. This is important because this is going to be, I guess it's essentially just the point at which, a bit smaller. Actually, let's do this the scientific way, let's just match. I did that wrong. There. Okay, so I was pretty much right. Then we make this a 45. And then we can just stretch this out until we get there. Still, let's, I mean, it's right. But, okay, let's just get rid of this row. That's not what I want at all. Damn, I guess there isn't really an easy way of doing it that way. So we'll do it this way instead. Bam! Okay, that's better. And I guess that's fine. We'll start the process to get these combined, because that'll be important. That one can go there, that one can go there. Put the middle in there. This one will go nicely there, and actually, we'll have to go this way and this way. I don't like this one's almost right. Bam, bam. Normally I would just combine these right away, but because I'm working with specific pivot points I'm trying to keep, I'm just gonna hold off a little bit just to make sure I get everything the way I want it. I don't lose anything and have to try and guess again at what the pivot point was. Normally, if I was going to be doing a lot of this kind of stuff and figuring out where I wanted things, I would use like a null or a helper to actually just put it right on top of where I want the pivot and then just use that as a base. But for this, it's actually, it's kind of just like more work than it's worth, because it's not going to be used all that much. So we'll just keep going with this. Almost there. Okay. And then we'll just add that one in there. There. So now later when I go and do this, this is pretty much going to work perfectly, almost. Good. Actually, just one more there. Good. And I will just preemptively get rid of all these faces on the inside here. They won't be needed. Alright, and now the last leg, or the last joint. And see, this is kind of what I was worried about. Because now it looks like it'll be really short. Is that a problem, though? I mean, it's not going to be setting any world speed records anyway, so having kind of awkward, stumpy legs would probably be in its favor. Well, let's just kind of start building it out a bit more. That's a cylinder, I don't need that, I need a cube. I want to cube. That goes there. Let's make it a bit skinnier. Want that there. This I'll bring out to here and then pop this out a bit further so you can still see it. That should be good enough. Center is there, but I want to just do... Actually, no, what I want to do is I want to put the center right up against the edge here. That way if I move it out, I can always snap it right back to where it needs to be. So then maybe I need to bring this in closer. Yeah, okay. So let's do that first. So, can't really bring it in closer unless I get rid of this. Then just do this. Then I can grab these, slide these in. There. Now all I need to do is just kind of add some faces there. Get rid of this face. Actually, this one is just going to go there because that's all flat. No extra work needed there, but for here, there's a little needed. Get that out of the way. Okay, so these all kind of move forward a bit. What's this? Tail. Okay. So now, first things first, let's actually kind of make these a bit closer to there. Actually, we'll bring it in a little bit because we're going to have to do the thing. We're going to slide it over a bit, so that's pretty close. Grab those. Those. And then grab this whole thing and move it in to about there. So now that means I can move these in. That goes there. That goes there, and that goes there. Okay. Actually, I guess that stays there, doesn't it? Cool. Okay. There, and that goes there. Oh, I guess that means that then this actually goes here. And then that. Bam. Okay. So now how does that look if I bring this down? Okay, that looks better. That's more in line now. So now I can bring this over here. Bring that down. Swing that out. And yeah, look at that. I don't even think I'll put a proper, like, articulated foot on this leg. Make it look kind of like Boston Dynamics' big dog with kind of like a little ball on its foot, but not quite that obvious. Or rather, simple. So, what I want to do now is I want to bevel these edges. So what else has been going on the last few days? Honestly, not much. Work is just kind of slow right now, which means that probably within the next month my hours are probably going to get cut. Hopefully it's not too drastic and I just go down to like just mornings or something, which would then mean that I can start doing more stuff in the afternoon. It's going to be suck to not get paid as much anymore, but you know, sometimes it's nice to have a little break. I actually just took a week of vacation on the first week of January, which seems a little odd at first, but when you consider the fact that it was pretty dead, I probably would have been leaving early or just be getting my hours cut sooner, so at least this way I was gone. My coworkers had to work harder to get stuff done, so they were happy, and I had a week off where I could do whatever I wanted. And so I was happy. Whatever I wanted and get paid for it. That's the fun part. That's where, that's quote unquote where the real money comes in. And actually, I ended up spending 3 days of that, or 2 days of that with my mom, and we watched all the Marvel movies. So that was fun. It's kind of good to go through it all and kind of make sure I'm all up to date, because I had actually not yet seen Thor 2, Captain America 2, yeah, those ones. And it hadn't been a while since I've seen even just like Thor, and we didn't do all the Iron Men, we just did the first one because it was the best one, of course. And we had seen kind of the other ones recently enough that we didn't really need the primer, and they didn't directly contribute to the overarching storyline anyways, as far as I know. I'm probably wrong, but that's okay. I wouldn't go as far as to say I'm not a comic book fan, but I am probably far smaller than, or much less of one than some might expect, but that's okay. And I want to do the rest of that. Not too much. I was trying to get some 40k in, but my usual opponent was actually pretty sick, so that didn't really happen. Which, you know what, whatever. We usually, once you average it out, we play about twice a month, so that's still pretty good, all things considered. Certainly better than, what I did on my first big go-around, where I didn't really play except for when I was living in Vancouver. And even then, that was kind of spotty, too. And with people I didn't know, anything like that. At least this way, got a regular opponent. It's just a matter of us figuring out our schedule. So, take it when it comes to the 40k stuff, I just try and take it as it comes along, because sometimes, it's not going to work out. And, I mean, luckily this time it's a case of I do not have like 5 million armies I'm trying to build and want to use. I've only got the one so far, and the second one I've only just gotten the models in for, and I haven't even started putting that one together yet because I want to get it to look nice. So, in the end, it's all okay. Having a bit of a break is still good. It's giving me a chance to work on some Necro models I've actually had for a while, just never really got around to painting. Like, I've got some Tomblade, some Lichguard, so nice little break. I also spent a lot of last week actually painting up some of my Proxy War prints, so that was nice. It's good to kind of see them, in color for a change. I picked 2 schemes. Well, okay, so the basic coloring format is that there is a fairly, not a really dark gray, but a nice deep gray that is going to be consistent on everything. And then you have a primary color which covers, for the most part, the main hull areas, and then you got a secondary color that kind of hits the accents and goes well with the gray. So the 2 schemes I ended up going with are orange with light gray, and that creates a really nice little scheme between the 2 grays and the orange. It's like the orange and darker gray is actually a scheme I use a lot for my Lego builds. It's a nice little color combination, and I just like orange, so it's convenient for me. The second scheme I went with is actually a bit more interesting. It's a dark blue to go with the dark gray, and then the accent is kind of not really a lime green, but kind of like an electric green, I guess. It's actually pretty nice, and I like how it turned out. And I just decided I want to do this differently, so we're going to make a copy, and we're just going to fix that problem. Where was I? Oh yeah, color schemes. So been doing that. That's been fun. I actually kind of got a little bit lucky, and my local Michaels was actually carrying the brush packs I like to use. They carry it's just like a store brand pack of, quote quote-unquote detail brushes. I hate it when it does this. Okay. Yeah, so it's like a no-name brand pack of detail brushes, and it's 10, 0, 5, 0, 3, 0, and 0. And between and with the and when I buy them on coupon, it's like $1.50 a brush, which is actually I consider to be a pretty good value because my brushes don't last all that long. So getting that much out of it is actually something I'm okay with. $1.50 a brush, then yeah, so I'm okay with that kind of value. And the biggest issue with trying to get them is that, well, I worked at Michaels for almost 7 years, so I know how their stock works, and restock is a little spotty. So when you see something in at Michaels, sometimes you just got to go for it, especially if it's a seasonal thing. So I over the last week, what's going on here? Yeah. So every day after work in the evening, on my way home, I stopped by Michael's and I just picked up a pack. And I did that. Yeah, I did that 3 times. So now I got 3 packs, and probably the next time they get restocked, I'll pick up another pack just in case, because I've already kind of got one of the zero brushes kind of on its not on its last legs. It's starting to fray a little bit, but it's not really unusable in any way. So still got a bit more out of that one, but started using. But yeah. So now I've got a good supply of brushes, so hopefully that shouldn't be an issue for quite a while for me, which is nice because it will let me focus on actually just painting, which it's the kind of thing where like it sounds silly, but it actually really goes a long way to not have to worry about little things like that. Because I mean, especially like, well, I'm not a very good painter. Like, I'll just be frank. And with my second army, my pre-heresy Death Guard, for those that are in the know of 40k stuff, I want to actually kind of have them look a little nice. So part of that is going to be learning to do them properly. Over the holidays, I spent some time looking into my options for basing, and I picked up a bunch of model railway stuff, and I kind of just messed around with some different mixes between different like grades, or one's less coarse, one's more coarse. So I went through that and found something I like. There. That's what I like. So now I've kind of got that, and although I haven't actually tested putting it on a base yet, that's still kind of to come. But in the meantime, it's still something that's already done, so that's really nice. It's nice to not have to worry about it. But yeah, and I want it to look nice. So in the meantime, I'm gonna just occupy myself with finishing off my Necron army. Like I've said before, I've actually still got like 500 to 600 points of models that I still need to paint. And at this point, I'll definitely get to them. It's just sometimes it's the case where every now and then I'll just kind of lose interest and I won't paint or touch any of my stuff for like a good 6 months. But luckily, I mean, me and my buddy have been a bit more consistent with getting together for 40k, so that's definitely helped keep the interest alive. And I definitely won't complain about that, because as much as, Games Workshop as a company is kind of rage-inducing, and as much as the rules are kind of bad because Games Workshop is quote-unquote a model company and not a game company for some reason. Yeah, I don't really get it, but apparently it's a thing. But, I do really enjoy it. I like it, Classic, kid with a bunch of model tanks and drove them around and made all the noises and all that, so yeah, it's definitely gonna be something that piques my interest. And I'm just kind of glad I've got someone I can consistently share that with, because it sure makes it a lot easier to justify. Although that's, I guess, its own problem, but take it as they come. And yeah, I haven't really done much more than that over the last, since the last, oh, damn it. Words are failing me because I'm really bad at this still. One thing I did do is I remembered how to video edit, and after a bit of time trying to get my Premiere to not just break on me trying to encode the videos, I actually got the videos from the Wednesday stream edited. I mean, there wasn't much editing, it's mostly just setting the right start and end times, but got that done. And I haven't uploaded them yet. Well, at the time of streaming, by the time anyone sees this, the old ones will probably already be uploaded. And I'm not sure what I'm gonna do for a channel for that. I'm gonna probably see if I can get a new channel that actually matches names and all that. Barring that, I do have a YouTube account already that I use for just kind of like my personal browsing. So worst comes worst, I'll just end up throwing on there. But that's, hopefully it won't come down to that, because, oops. Yeah, because it's not really, I don't know, like, I've got a lot of stuff on there that, I'd rather just kind of keep to myself. So, this actually looks really bad, doesn't it? Damn. Can I salvage this? Yes. I think I can. Okay, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to model it that way. That might help me remember which way it's supposed to be facing and design accordingly, because that's not what I did this time around. Okay, these ones I gotta keep. And what I'm actually gonna do is, if I just rotate this, it should work, right? Almost. And actually, yeah, okay, I know what I'm gonna do with this. Yeah, I got it now. I do want to, actually though, no, start menu, go away, go away. I should probably disable that for streaming, but I use it so much outside of streaming. Kinda don't want to. Kinda don't want to go through the hassle of disabling and re-enabling it all the time. Well, I'll just have to try and train myself then. Yeah, legs are definitely not my favorite. It's, I think, probably part of the reason too why I did so many tanks at first, because tanks are easy. You just kind of go there. Okay, perfect. And then we'll just take another cube, and we'll make our quote-unquote big dog feet. Nice and simple. Okay, yeah, I got this now. How big is that foot? About 2 millimeters. 2.8 or 1.8. That should be good enough, especially considering it's going to be a little on the longer side. And actually, let's just get rid of these faces. Won't be needing them yet. There, that's cool. We'll cut it off. And then we'll do the front. We'll bring it in a little bit. Then I'll do the same up here. Cut through it, get rid of the little extra. There, I like that. And these two can easily merge. Get rid of these inside faces. Now start building it out. Oh, it didn't do what I thought it did. Oops! Okay, so we're just gonna go and grab the rest of these. I don't need that one. I really should have put a center line on this and just subdivided it after I did all the hard work. Oh well, that's what I get for being a dum-dum. Oh yeah, that's right. I also started playing Darkest Dungeon technically yesterday, but mostly today. And I like it. I'm just think I'm kind of like, I'm at the point where I'm not sure if it's actually, it's kind of like right on that slippery edge of it's too random or it's just random enough. Like I've had a little bit of a rough, like I've only gone to week 6, so I've not gone very far, and I had a good starting party, and that was cool and fun, but since that first party is, I've been trying to deal with the fact that they keep, you know, going crazy and shit, and I'm pretty sure it's mostly just a case of I don't know the game very well yet, and I'm sure as I get better at it, I'll kind of like, oh yeah, see, that all makes sense now. But for now, it's just kind of like teetering on that little, on that fine line of random random enough and too random. I think I'm kind of like, I think I'm kind of starting to equalize a little bit. I've gotten enough different party members and classes where I can kind of field 2 quote-unquote complete teams, so I don't feel like I'm really losing out on anything when I've, jeez. Yeah, so I don't really feel like I'm losing out in between excursions with having guys kind of trying to fix themselves. I do think, like, it feels like, at least, that sometimes the stress just builds up like way too fast. Like, I can't even do, like, so far I've had 1 or 2 heart attacks. No, I've only had the 1 heart attack, but I've had guys go on to death's door quite a bit. And I mean, yeah, it's a hard game. That's pretty much exactly what it was marketed as. And like I said, I think it's kind of just, I'm sitting at that, on that edge of skill where the randomness is kind of, I'm at the I'm at the mercy of the randomness. So I think if I just keep playing, I'll kind of get past that, and then it won't feel so bad, or I won't be so bad. So fun. I really just started naming my guys because it's can be a little confusing trying to figure out who was who again. I just don't. Unfortunately, I don't know a lot of people to name them after, so I can't really go about it that way. But I'll figure something out. I always do. I want this actually a bit smaller, and I want to get it centered. And then I need to adjust the center point here. No, I need to adjust it in a big way because oh yeah, because I merged it, so it was kind of right at the center of the scene. Okay. No, not center object. Let's get this out of the way. Screw it, let's merge this. Merge. Center. Because luckily I do still have my pivot point figured out on this piece here. So that's good. I'll bring that to the edge there. Oh, I didn't set my settings properly for this. Do it. Yeah, so the blue lines means that the edges are not connected. So if I were to grab, say, like this face, and I go, bleh, none of it, it's just pulling it away. And I've found that oddly to, like, in what feels odd to me is that in all the game models I've ever worked with, is that all the faces are disconnected from each other, so it's just all white line, all the blue lines across almost every face. And it's kind of not so much a case that I disagree with that practice as much as just that for the way at least this program works, is that it makes it really hard to work with a model. Like if I'm making a modification or using it for parts or something like that, it just makes it really difficult to work with. So that's not good for me, but and I'm sure like if I ever ended up doing games or something like that, I would probably have to do something similar to all these models, but for now that's far from a problem. So okay, I'm liking this, and oh shoot, that's right. Yeah, we'll do it this way. I'll expand it out from there. Try and get it flat. Oh, damn it. No, flat, flat. Okay, that's pretty close. And then just to make sure it's actually flat. Normally, like for a game, having it be absolutely flat is not a big deal, but when you're, again, like when you're 3D printing stuff, knowing where your flat surfaces are and all that is pretty important, so gonna go with it. I don't need this here actually, or honestly even that one. Oops. Yeah, sometimes you gotta be careful when you're doing the welds like that. Sometimes things break. I guess there isn't no really nice way to do that. Okay, well, the rest are nice. The rest are fine. Jeez. Man, I'm really not used to talking this much. I'm sure it really shows, you guys. And for any of you that are watching this, and for those who will come to watch this in the future, I am really sorry. Because this is pretty bad. Okay, yeah, that looks much, much better now. I kind of wish I didn't do all, like it wasn't like the joints weren't, the legs and sections weren't side by side and they were more in line, but I think it just makes for, I think in this case this just works better without like it shows everything and it's all like quote unquote obvious. Okay, so that center is fine, so that means I can parent this. Alright, and now we've got a oh, that's not parented. Alright, now so now we've got a complete leg. And that feels good. And I think now of course I did mess up that early section that I totally didn't. So I think we'll call a break here. I'll be back in 5-10 minutes after I have a little snack. And then we'll get back to it and hopefully be on our way to finishing this. And this is going to be a long part to upload, but oh well. Them's the breaks. I shouldn't be such an idiot and not, you know, do things right the first time. So anyways, we will go for a break. Overlays right, good. Alright. Yep, so on a break, I'll see you guys in 5-10 minutes.